edition of the GASOCAST. I'm your host, Ryan Matson, joined by Michael Timmins and Blueser Tucci. 28 days till the first practice.
Yep.
Man, there's a lot going on right now. Lots of people playing. On to news. We got some signings and commitments. Justin McBride to Oklahoma State. Myles Rigsby to Troy. Samson Aletan to Yale. Big time.
No, really big time. Happy for those guys for sure.
Yeah.
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Different. Yeah. I mean, Samson to Yale, what, 40-year plan there?
Yep. Strong group. Myles Rigsby had a great open period at our July GASO. And Justin McBride, that dude's been on the map.
That's a bad boy, yeah.
He's really, really, really good. We just had our San Antonio Fall Classic, loaded with talent. Really, really exciting times. We came away from the event kind of talking and just said, that was a really refreshing event.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing on so many fronts. But, Blue, you were kind of talking about just the next gen. We kind of previewed this on our podcast, and they just delivered.
Yeah, last week we gave out tons of names, and they came out and they played well, and there was even some that were new that popped up. You know, Sean Montragon pops up very quickly from Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial that we'll talk about more. But you look at that, especially Michael, we look at that 25-26 class, and we're starting to see the basket grow with all these prospects that college coaches are going to be headed down to San Antonio and Austin a lot more than they have over probably the last couple of years.
No, absolutely. One thing I noticed was, these are long days. We grind at the GASO. We're there from 7:30 all the way till 9 o'clock. And each hour on hour when new teams would come in all the way to the end, we were excited to see somebody in each hour, which was very refreshing. So you're getting to those 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock games. There's still guys that we were waiting and excited to see all day long that we're looking forward to.
And it started at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Stony Point, Brennan, I saw you have, and we're going to talk about Brennan quite a bit on this, but Stony Point, Blue, I saw you have listed. Their point guard made a statement. Their big Josiah Mosley made a statement. They were really good.
I think Antoine Thompson came in with a vision, and it was an exciting game, and people want to see what the new look Round Rock Stony Point is going to bring to the court. And in both times, in both games, they went back to back with Brennan, then San Antonio Reagan. They were down big, nearly 20-2-ish. They had to climb themselves back in, and those kids competed. And I think that there's already a lot of buzz and a lot of talk that Stony Point, it's their district to win. There could be that team that makes the push in the playoffs in year one as Coach Thompson's there. And to see that product on the court finally really just gets you excited, sees that the matchups were on point that Sam Lowe created for everybody to go see. And it was a big way to start a 9 a.m. game, and it was like a playoff atmosphere with the fans and everybody wanted to make sure they went out there and competed and won. And I mean, you would have thought that they won district at that point when Brennan finishes off the game and wins.
Michael, looking at what you wrote, it's very clear to me the point guard showed out this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
What matchups in particular are you referring to?
So, there was a lot of, just while I was watching the games, I was like, oh, these are very intriguing, head-to-head, player-to-player matchups. Starting off with James Livingston versus Matthew Soto. James Livingston at Cole. One thing I'll say is, yes, they've lost some of their seniors, but don't sleep on Cole.
That's a program.
Yeah, that's a program. They know how to win. It's built into their DNA, and James Livingston is a dude.
We all came away excited about him.
One of our stock risers right there, and him and Matthew Soto from Somerset, and he needs no introduction. But, just one of the best pure point guards in that region for sure. They were going back and forth and scoring it in a variety of ways. They're both really good in the pick and roll. So that's one matchup I was looking at. Another one was Jarek Schmittou from Churchill scored off against Henry Sanchez Perez of Copperas Cove. And we all know Henry Sanchez Perez is known for, getting to any spot he wants, knocking down shots, can give you 30, 35 points anytime he wants. Jarek Schmittou, just a tough nose, gets everybody involved, really takes it personal on the defensive end. You saw that matchup. They're going back and forth. Both of them had the mid-range game going on in transition. Just something really fun that I like to watch. And I just like the fact that they both guarded each other too. And you could see Henry Sanchez Perez decided, I'm going to get down and guard some. I see the way Jarek's guarding me. I'm going to do the same with him. And it was just really high-level basketball with two very impressive programs. And the final one, we kind of touched on it, that 9 a.m. matchup. I have this game on YouTube, Brennan versus Stony Point, Kingston Fleming, and then Uzziah Buntyn at Stony Point. We're going back and forth. Just really high-level basketball. Two very, very impressive 2025s that need to be mentioned across the state as, dudes that are going to be making their mark for years to come.
Yeah, if the alarm didn't get me out of bed, that one did real
Absolutely.
early. Something that really stuck out for me is just kind of these top-tier programs year over year over year that are always consistent just came in and took care of business. None other than Boerne Champion. They were a bunch of, just vets out there. They just showed up, won 2 games, walked off the floor like they had been there before. It's because they have been there before, but it's great to see a team like that who had so much success last year come in, take care of business. Clearly, they're back and they want more.
Yeah, in the previous show I said, hey, it's going to be on Braden Baum to lead this team. And you can see that the culture led. Not that Braden didn't, but he knows he doesn't have to do it by himself. And the one thing I took away from seeing that first game when they played Round Rock, and they had Round Rock down big, and a big reason was the reemergence of Dakari Hodge. He's starting to look like his old self, scoring from a multitude of ways, owning the glass, crafty as a passer, just fits that team perfectly. And with him continuing to get even healthier than he was this weekend, they're going to be a tough out in that region, if not the state.
Yeah, and when you lose a senior like Jesse Pert, who brings athleticism, ball handling, and can control the tempo, I was really curious to see what they were going to bring to the floor. And man, I'm very impressed with that team. And it's not they're not gonna be a pushover. They're targeting that San Antonio UIL championship this year.
Some other teams that kept keeping on. San Antonio Reagan. Hard not to talk about them. They have point guard Luke Price, who you're going to get into a little bit later. They have Luke Mills, the wing. Aiden Richard can really shoot it. Coach Hurst, one of the best.
Yep.
Just in there, taking care of business. Ho-hum. Then you saw Laredo United. Another one. Just these programs that time after time, you know what you're getting, and they come in, take care of business. Doesn't matter. Who's in the uniform, the culture, the program is so much bigger than one individual, and that's exciting to see.
Yeah, and Coach Rios down there at Coach Ramos down there at Laredo United is excited about this group because they have a good core of basketball players, but then they're going to get their football players in too. And so this is one of his better teams, he said, and he's been very successful in his run down there at Laredo United.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead. No, you want to get in some players?
Yeah, let's do it.
And I'm going to start a little fun segment going forward. It's going to be called Blue, slide your mic down closer this way because we're about to talk about some players, and I want to make sure they hear you.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that Blue's the one.
Is that volume good?
It has. I mean, Blue's the one guy that, he's looking at us engaging. He doesn't like to talk into his mic, so we got to correct that. But we want to correct it now before we talk some of these top players that we saw over the weekend. So now, Blue.
He's getting you out on camera so that you'll have to do it. Now you're held accountable by people.
But let's just break down Blue's mic situation right now. Blue's looking down at us, but the mic's on the outside. The mic should be inside, so while you're looking at us, see how mine is?
Can I get a wireless mic?
See how mine is? Inside because I'm facing y'all. So you want to bring it inside so you're on the outside looking in.
I'm insecure about my mic situation now.
We're doing it for y'all people.
Oh, great. We might as well talk about fantasy football now. Gosh, I've lost it.
But no, seriously. Let's start players. 2023s.
Oh, gosh.
Blue, kick us off.
Oh, Luke Price. Reagan. He was a little bit of a missing link last year. And Coach John Hurst says, this is our move-in because he tore his ACL last year, so sat out all last year. He said, it's like getting a move-in. And everything that Coach Hurst has said about Luke up to this point, I saw it. I think we're all very excited for him to be back on the court. And he's very skilled. He's able to break down the defender, get the ball out of his hands, score. There was so many things that he did out there that really he's going to be a really big part of this team that allows Reagan to go deep in the playoffs once again because they lost, Trey Thompson, who is over at Lubbock Christian now and shot like 40+% from the 3-point line. He was their leading 3-point shooter. And so when you can move somebody in like Luke Price that looks fresh, that looks ready to go, looks healthy, and he's cutting back door. He has the timing down with his teammates. That was very impressive in that this is an uncommitted senior that guys have to start lining up to go see.
People were turning their heads at him, and Coach Hurst came up to me and said, hey, this guy's going to shoot 40% from three, and he just got back from his ACL a few weeks ago. And I'm like, he's probably going to be out of shape. He's not out of shape.
Yeah.
Kid was killing it. I'll hop in. Nathaniel Dooms, San Antonio Marshall, lots made of Matthew Gonzalez, rightfully so. That kid filled it up. I saw 20 points in the second game in the first half. But running right beside him, Nathaniel Dooms, he's come such a long way. I saw San Antonio Marshall the first game of the year last year, and just seeing where he was then and where he is now, he's getting up, throwing stuff down, impacting the defensive end, altering shots, and then gathering tons of rebounds. And to put a rim-running athlete next to Matthew Gonzalez, Matthew's going to get shots up, and Nathaniel's going to have opportunities to clean it up and really impact San Antonio Marshall, and he's going to play a big role and see how far they go this year.
Yeah, for me, Locke Cunningham of Austin Westlake. We missed him this summer. Took the summer off. Midway through the first game, I was filming him. Like he had a baseline inbounds that he was taking the ball out, and I made sure he heard me. I said, "I've missed you," because he was in the game doing what he always does, mixing it up, and he got on a heater, hit like 4 threes in the game. Just brings that energy, that tenacity, passes it really good from the guard position. Is just a guy that, once again, like we talk about some of these teams that lost some seniors, when you have the program pedigree and the DNA that Austin Westlake has, a kid like Locke Cunningham coming in there as a senior is going to continue to keep them relevant and make some major noise in that region. But, yeah, Blue, I'm sure you saw when he was really getting it going from three, which is just icing on the cake. But he just brings that tenacity, just the identity of just a tough Austin Westlake team.
And I guess that's in the Cunningham DNA, because he was also throwing his body around out there, diving on the floor, doing the little things. And, he might not have played in the summer, but he shows competitiveness. He's shown winning plays. And we don't know exactly how this Westlake's going to shape up throughout the entire year, as they're in a very difficult district now with a lot of things riding. But as we dip into the 2024s, I have another Westlake kid in Wander Ka-Ho-Zee, and he's 6'5", athletic, strong. He's pouncy, and he runs the floor. And they're so he's a little bit he's something that they usually don't have right there at the 5'4" area. And so he just brings a little bit different dynamic that those guards can shoot. And I think they can just depend on him to kind of get some garbage and get some putbacks and then defend. And so Westlake, as we go back-to-back prospects from there, they're going to be better, I think, than what most people are even going to be thinking of.
Yeah, so staying on 2024 is one kid that continues to impress me, and I'm going to bring his name up as much as possible. It's Charlie Georgelos from Boerne Champion. I mean, the frame's there, the shooting's there, the skill's there. It's adding pop to his game, just confidence, man. He's just one of those guys that I could watch all day long, just the way he carries himself, just tough rebounds offensive rebounds from the guard position, just everything you want, continues to just make his game more and more complete. And as we talked about Boerne Champion earlier, their success is going to have a lot to do with this kid as well and the way he can do everything a team needs to win. Yeah,
his IQ is off the charts as a freshman. And now he's been playing like a senior since he was a freshman. And now that the athleticism and all the things that you're looking for in prospect growth is starting to happen. And, Charlie's a prime candidate for just a huge breakout, because all of it's coming together at the right time with a really good team in a really good program.
Yep.
I'll go off the beaten path a little bit. A guy that I was sitting there watching San Antonio Vets Memorial with another one of our colleagues, GASO Tim, and he said, "Mass, I want you to point out to me a guy that I'm going to really like on this team." And he said, "I already like him, and I want to see if you know who I'm going to like on this team." And I said, "Okay." And this kid, Demarion Dennis, made one move in transition. He had this long Euro step, kind of slithered by some guys, and then exploded off one foot and finished around the rim. And I was like, "That's your guy, Tim." And he was like, "That's my guy, Mass." And he just popped couple play after play after play, and he moved in from J.J. Pierce down down to San Antonio Vets, and you can tell he's still getting acclimated and everything like that, but you saw some real athletic pop, and you saw how this kid can move and transition. It just looked different. It just popped off the screen, and I want to give this guy a little bit of love because I think I saw something, and Tim's usually spot on.
Yeah, so let's get into one of my favorite segments. We're going to cover the next gen guys, and this is a region that has plenty of them. So Blue, go ahead and kick us off.
Yeah, I mentioned his name earlier.
Yeah.
The Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial in 2026, Sean Mondragon. This is a guard that was doing everything that you would expect a veteran varsity player to do. He's out there handling the ball. He's calling out the plays. He's knocking down perimeter shots. He's getting to the basket. He's playing defense. He's getting subbed out, and he's ready to get back in. He's making plays out there that are very does not look like a freshman that has not been on. He just doesn't look like he was just thrown out there and let's go play and see what's going to happen. No, he is a big part of this team who last year made it to the regionals, if I'm not mistaken, and so he is going to add another weapon of scoring, another defender, and he's going to put pressure on the ball 94 feet.
Yeah, really, really talented defender. Young kid that's that tenacious is just like recipe for success because the rest is going to continue to come. And then he came out to our GASO Link camp and was just as dominant.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
I'll hop in. I think it's Talon Todd, San Antonio Brennan 2026. This kid was electric off the bench. He comes in, smooth lefty. Kingston has the ball majority of the games that I saw with San Antonio Future. And I see this young kid with the ball, and I'm like, man, that kid must be pretty good if he's if he's running a little bit of guard and letting Kingston play off the ball, catch and attack. And he did. I mean, he just made shot after shot after shot, real smooth, really good at getting to his spots. And man, San Antonio Brennan, they've got a lot to like. There's about 3 2025s and about 3 2026 I could have talked about here. But Talon, the way he shot the ball really jumped off the page at me.
I was just about to say the same thing. There's more than just one next gen player there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And college coaches have already been in large numbers to Brennan to go watch them during athletic period of time, and there's a lot to like for a lot of different levels there. So congratulations to Cody Cowgill and having a team that very well should make that next level push. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
Can I do one?
Well,
you've already done one.
I'll be the first and the last one. Go ahead.
Can I do one? Thanks.
Go right.
For me, we going back to San Antonio Veterans Memorial, Darian Jordan Dorn, 2026. And the one thing I look at with a lot of these next-gen prospects is, okay, you're going to be on varsity. How do you contribute? As a 5'9" guard, his ability to just create havoc and he's already ready to be on the varsity level with his just tenacity, his physicality, mixes it up on both ends, picking you up 94 feet. Like, that already translates to the varsity level. So when you start right there, the motor, everything else, we have plenty of time to grow off that. But he's going to be in games down the stretch for this Veterans Memorial team because he just makes things happen. We saw him this summer with hard work in the big game in our GASO championship game. But he just has the it factor as a freshman, and that's only going to get better, and his skill set's going to get more polished. So I was really intrigued by him. Go ahead, Blue.
Yeah, I thought we had 2 sections down here. I saw my name pop up again. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish this off with talking about Corbin Crocker from San Antonio, Alamo Heights, 6'8". During the summer, his summer coach was telling me about Brian Curtis, and we saw a little bit of him, but I think they were playing in the NBA, and they got worked over a little bit.
The NBA division at our GASO events.
At our GASO. Now you look at him with his high school team, and I turned to head coach Andrew Brewer, and I was like, this is for real, right? He's like, he's going to be good. And just sitting up on the block, back to the basket, working hard, rebounding, running the floor. And Andrew says that he's got an outside jumper. He's just not having to utilize it as much right now. So that's another little tool he has in his pocket that he'll start showing off here, I guess, as they get into the season and so forth. But there's a lot of size at 6'8", good body, footwork, hands. There's a lot that looks like it's going to get polished throughout the year and make him take off when it comes to rankings and recruiting.
Yep, and Blue's our resident like big man guy. Like, he is constantly on it with these guys and spot on consistently. So when Blue speaks about a big guy, you should probably listen up. Corbin Crocker, also at our GASO Link camp, had a great day on Sunday. I featured him as well. He has really nice feet. He's very, very 2026, these freshmen that are huge, they're still growing into their body. And when they can move and do some things with their feet and then little hook shots, all these things, it's very promising for those guys. So the San Antonio GASO Fall Classic was a huge success. Our next one will be in Houston on October 8th, I believe.
Yep.
And then we're back in Dallas and specifically Mansfield on the 15th. Got tons more teams to talk about. We'll be previewing Houston next week. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're following us at Texas Hoops GASO if you want all high school basketball and grassroots content. Thanks.